In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, dear friends and fellows, Louis Jackson has written a beautiful article, and I want to share that beautiful article with you. There are 10 points that Louis Jackson has mentioned here, and those 10 points are actually the personality traits. Those 10 points are actually the personality traits we need to create in ourselves. If at all we want to become a happier person, if at all we want to become a more happy and more active person, if at all we want to enjoy the life fully at the maximum level, then we need to create the 10 personality traits in ourselves. And according to the Louis Jackson, now let's talk about each of that 10 points. And first of all, she says that there must be patience inside you and you must be very patient. Patience is a great virtue actually. Patience is a great virtue. If there is no patience, then there is nothing. Mean we shouldn't be, you know, we shouldn't be a bad-tempered person. We shouldn't be eager and desperate to do certain thing and do certain thing about which the timing is not right. We need to exercise self-restraint, and uh, instead of going for a kind of immediate action, it is very important indeed, that we people restrain ourselves and we wait for the right time and we wait till we are properly prepared. And that is being patient, first of all. And secondly, she says that you must be resilient, mean you must be flexible. Obviously, there will be difficulties and trouble in the life. The life is not a bed of roses at all. Life is not a bed of roses at all, and for that reason, obviously, once you find the difficulties, you should be able to persist. Being able to persist, we need to develop the persistence in we ourselves, and we need to become resilient. That is the second most important, the second very important thing. We are talking about the 10 points given to us by Louis Jackson, for a happier and a productive life, for the fuller life. The third, she says that develop the sense of humor in yourself. We need to learn to laugh. How to laugh? Laughing at the jokes of others and being able to share the jokes, whatever we heard from other things, from other people, and whatever we can create ourselves without hurting the other people, without hurting the other people, without making the other person angry. We need to learn to share the jokes. Although lots of care is needed here, but it is really important that we have the sense of humor. And then the number 4 point she says is forgiving. We should learn to forgive. We should learn to forgive. It is really, really important. Why it is that much important? Because if unless and until we don't learn to forgive, we will be holding lots of grudge, and this grudge is a great burden upon our mind. We need to release our mind from that much of the great burden, and that will only be possible if at all we will learn to forgive, and if at all we are generous in forgiving. That is the number 4 point Louis Jackson has shared with us. Now, number 5 point is she says that you must be humble. Humility. That is very, very important. Instead of becoming an arrogant person, it is far more important and far more important indeed that we are a humble human being. Humility, it does not decrease our respect in the society at all. Rather, it does increase. We are given respect if at all we are humble enough, if at all we have developed the humility in ourselves instead of becoming arrogant, instead of becoming proud. It is really important to become humble and humility. Then that was number 5, and number 6 is that we must be tolerant. Intolerance, lack of tolerance, that is a great demerit. And being a tolerant person, that is a great merit as well. So we need to learn to tolerate. Tolerating the things which are against our temperament, I think that is really important. Being able to tolerate. And being tolerant, that is a great virtue indeed. This was the personality trait number 6. The personality trait number 7 is to be kind. Be a kind hearted person. Be a kind hearted person. That is really, really important. It is really important to become a kind hearted person. And then this was the number 7. And the number 8 personality trait for leading a happier and a fuller life is that be a self aware person. Self awareness, what is this self awareness? Mean there is a critic sitting inside us, and sometimes some of us we indulge in the negative self talk. We need to be aware that now I am, harshly criticizing myself. I am, having a kind of negative self talk, and I need to eradicate that. We need to talk need to have a I need to have positive self-talk, and I need to silence that critic. Although identifying where we are wrong and reforming ourselves, that is very, very important, very, very important. Rather, I shall say it is essential, but unnecessarily we keeping a kind of harshness, being harshness with we ourselves. That is not fair at all, and having a kind of negative self-talk, that is very, very wrong, must be curtailed, must be stopped. Then comes, my dear friends, it is the self awareness first, and then it is the number 9 is be an optimistic person. Be an optimistic person. Never lose hope at all. Never ever lose hope at all. Always be a hopeful person. Always think positively. Always believe that you are going to succeed, inshallah. You will work hard and you will succeed. You will be able to live a good and a great life. Always, always be optimistic. That is the point number 9. And the point number 10 is that vulnerability. Vulnerability, because we are so much vulnerable. We call ourselves so much vulnerable, and making it as an excuse, we are not going to live fully. We are of the view that I have threats from there, I have the dangers from there, emotionally, financially, physically. So we restrict our movement. We should restrict our movements up to some extent, but at least we shouldn't be that much that much fearful, and we shouldn't be having that much vulnerability syndrome in ourselves that we stop doing. We curtail our activities up to great extent, and we restrict ourselves that much with the fear of vulnerability. I think that way we will never be able to lead a fuller life. So these are the 10 personality traits which are shared with us by the Louis Jackson, who is a researcher in the field of the psychology. And I am going to have a quick revision, and without explaining all those 10 points. First of all, she says first of all that be patient. Patience is very, very important. Second is resilient, flexible. Mean number 3 is that have sense of humor. Number 4 is that forgive the people. Number 5 is be humble. Number 6 is be tolerant. Number 7 is be kind. Number 8 is have develop the self awareness. Number 9 is be an optimistic person. And number 10 is, of course, vulnerability. So these are the 10 points shared with us by Louise Jackson, who is a great researcher in the field of psychology. And she says that you cannot lead a good and great life, you cannot lead a fuller and a happier life unless and until you do have these 10 personality traits. Now it's incumbent upon me and you to try and to do our level best effort to create these 10 personality traits, and we ourselves. Thank you.